Former Springbok speedster Gio Aplon has raised concerns about the challenges facing South Africa head coach Rassie Erasmus as he attempts to transition his squad ahead of the 2027 Rugby World Cup in Australia. While the Springboks remain one of the most dominant forces in world rugby, Aplon believes that balancing experience with the introduction of fresh talent could prove to be one of Erasmus' toughest tasks yet. A golden era under Erasmus. Since taking charge, Erasmus has overseen what many consider a golden era in Springbok rugby. South Africa claimed back-to-back Rugby World Cup titles, first in Japan in 2019 and then in France in 2023, a rare feat that cemented their place among rugby's all-time great teams. Alongside those triumphs, the Springboks also secured a 2-1 series victory over the British and Irish Lions in 2021, a fiercely contested contest played on home soil under intense pressure. Their dominance has extended into regular international competitions as well, with the Springboks lifting the Rugby Championship title in both 2024 and 2025. These achievements have reinforced South Africa's status as a powerhouse built on physicality, tactical discipline, and unmatched squad cohesion. However, success brings its own complications. The core of this dominant team remains largely unchanged, and many of its most influential figures are now entering the latter stages of their careers. An aging core still leading the way despite introducing a handful of promising young players since the 2023 World Cup, including Sasha Feinbergen-Gamezelu, Jan-Hendrik Wessels, Ethan Hooker, and Morn van den Berg. Erasmus has largely continued to rely on the experienced group that delivered global success. This veteran core includes some of the most recognizable names in world rugby: Siya Kolisi, Eben Etzebeth, Malcolm Marx, Franco Mostert, Frans Malherbe, Pieter-Steph du Toit, Handré Pollard, Damian de Allende, Jesse Kriel, Makazole Mapimpi, Cheslin Kolbe, and Cobus Renock. Remarkably, all of these players are double World Cup winners, a testament to their consistency, durability, and ability to perform on rugby's biggest stage. Yet, with that success comes the reality of age. Malcolm Marx, at 31, is the youngest among this group, while Renock, at 36, is the oldest. Most of the others are in their mid-30s, an age where maintaining peak physical performance becomes increasingly difficult. If fully fit, a significant portion of these veterans would still walk straight into the starting 15. That means more than half of South Africa's run-on side could consist of players in their 30s, a situation that raises questions about longevity and succession planning. The dilemma, experience versus evolution. For Aplon, the situation presents a delicate balancing act. On one hand, these seasoned players offer reliability and proven performance. On the other, delaying the transition to younger talent could leave South Africa vulnerable in the long term. Speaking on the Behind the Ruck podcast, Aplon emphasized the value of experience, describing these senior players as a form of insurance policy. "You know what those guys are going to give you," he explained. Players like Siya, Franco Mostert, Handré Pollard, Damian de Allende, they're close to 100 caps. There are no surprises with them. They deliver consistently, and that's invaluable at test level. This predictability is a key reason why Erasmus has continued to trust his veteran core. In high-pressure international rugby, where small margins often determine outcomes, reliability can outweigh potential. However, Aplon also acknowledged that the transition cannot be postponed indefinitely. With the 2027 World Cup approaching, South Africa must begin identifying and preparing the next generation of stars. The cost of transition introducing younger players into a successful team is rarely straightforward. It often comes with short-term setbacks, including potential losses and dips in performance. Aplon suggested that Erasmus may need to accept this reality if he wants to ensure long-term success. "You might have to be willing to lose a couple of test matches," he said. "That's the reality of building for the future. But the question is, are you prepared to take that risk, especially when you're facing top teams?" This dilemma becomes even more pronounced when considering South Africa's fierce rivalry with the All Blacks. Matches between these two nations are among the most high-profile in the sport, and the pressure to win is immense. Fielding an inexperienced side in such fixtures could expose weaknesses, but avoiding change altogether could leave the team unprepared for the future. Key positions under scrutiny. Aplon highlighted that not all positions are equal when it comes to succession planning. Certain roles within the Springbok system are so crucial that replacing the incumbent players becomes particularly challenging that he pointed specifically to the captaincy, the loose forward trio, and the inside center position, roles that are central to how South Africa play. The captain, your number 6, your inside center, these are key positions, Aplon explained. They're the heartbeat of the team. The inside center role, occupied by Damian de Allende, is especially significant in the Springboks' tactical setup. Often described as a fourth loose forward, the position demands physicality, defensive excellence, and the ability to link play between forwards and backs. Aplon was emphatic about de Allende's importance, suggesting that his contributions are often underestimated. I don't think people fully understand how good Damian de Allende is, he said. He's absolutely instrumental to how the Springboks play. Similarly, Pieter-Steph du Toit's influence extends far beyond traditional flanker duties. Known for his relentless work rate, defensive dominance, and ability to disrupt opposition attacks, he is a cornerstone of the team's success. Aplon referenced his impact in high-stakes matches, including his psychological and physical presence against top opponents. Then there is Eben Etzebeth, whose consistency and leadership in the second row provide stability, while Siya Kolisi's leadership brings calmness and unity to the squad. Malcolm Marx, meanwhile, remains one of the most effective hookers in world rugby, particularly at the breakdown. Replacing players of this caliber is not simply about finding equally talented individuals, it's about finding players who can fulfill highly specific roles within a well-established system. That chain philosophy. To illustrate his point, Aplon compared the Springbok setup to a chain, where every link must function perfectly for the system to succeed. Each player has a specific role. He said, "It's like a movie, everyone has their part to play. The current players understand their roles perfectly within Rassie's system." This analogy highlights the complexity of integrating new players. Even if a young player possesses immense talent, they must still adapt to the tactical and cultural framework that has made the Springboks so successful. You can bring in a new center, but he might not fit the role required in this system, Aplon added. That's the challenge. The next generation, promise, but patience. There is no shortage of emerging talent in South African rugby. Players like Ethan Hooker have already shown glimpses of their potential, and many believe they will become key figures in the years to come. These guys are talented, no doubt, he said. But they're not fully part of this movie yet. That takes time. Developing players to the level required for Test rugby, particularly in a team as structured as the Springboks, is a gradual process. It involves not only physical and technical growth but also an understanding of the team's identity and expectations. Looking ahead to 2027 as the countdown to the 2027 Rugby World Cup in Australia continues, Erasmus faces a defining period in his tenure. He must decide how and when to transition from a team built on experience to one capable of sustaining success into the future. The risk of holding on to veterans for too long is that the team could face a sudden decline if multiple players retire or lose form simultaneously. Conversely, introducing too many young players too quickly could disrupt the cohesion and winning culture that has defined the Springboks in recent years. A question of identity. In a thought-provoking conclusion, Aplon posed a metaphor that captures the uncertainty surrounding the Springboks' future. Is it going to be the same James Bond, he asked, or just another James Bond? The question reflects a deeper concern about identity. The current Springbok team is not just successful, it is iconic. Replicating that success with a new generation will require more than just talent, it will require a continuation of the culture, mindset, and system that Erasmus has built. Final thoughts. The Springboks stand at a crossroads. They are still one of the best teams in the world, with a core of players who have proven their worth time and again. But time waits for no one, and the need for renewal is inevitable.